The Bel Air Downtown Alliance is a nonprofit community development organization whose mission is to mobilize stakeholders to invest in Bel Air's neighborhoods, economy, and quality of life. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we hear about all the exciting events that they have planned for people of all ages, how you can get involved, volunteer opportunities, and how to enjoy the beautiful community that we call Bel Air. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford Magazine. I am so excited to be here with the Executive Director, Jenny Falcone of the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. Jenny has done so much to move this alliance forward. It has grown so much over the years, so much to offer, and she is here to tell us all about it. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Christy. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Now, when exactly were you formed, and why did you feel like it was something that needed to be brought to our town of Bel Air?
We've been a nonprofit for about 20 years now. We were formed in 2001, and originally we were a task force to manage a market study. After that, it kind of morphed into its own entity, and so for the last 20 years, we've been doing the work of the Main Street program for Bel Air.
What is the relationship between the town and the Alliance?
So like I said, the town of Bel Air as a government entity and the Alliance as a nonprofit organization, we have a public-private partnership. Essentially, that means that we partner together to do the work of the designation. So where the town falls short with what they can't do being a government entity, we're able to fill in the holes. And so together we're able to do all of the work that's needed.
Well, the Alliance is so active in our community. So give me a highlight of some of the signature events. I go to a lot of them. I absolutely love them, but I know some events are bigger than others.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Barbecue Bash is our biggest event. That event draws anywhere from 35 to 40,000 people in a 2-day span.
Wow.
It's huge. Some of our other larger events is First Friday. That is a series event that happens on the first Friday of every month, May through October. We also have the Bel Air Market, which is an artisan market. That's also a May through October event. We do the Christmas Parade. We're doing new events this year, the Christmas in July Bar Crawl. We're doing a community yard sale and flea market day. We do the Christmas Parade. I mean, there's in total over 30 events that we do throughout the year. So we're always looking to make the events that we're doing better or add new events.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you get the funding to put on all of these events?
That's a great question. So we have a lot of different funding sources, but the majority of our funding comes from these events. So because we're a nonprofit organization, we don't get help from any government entity regularly. Like the town of Bel Air does not fund our operations. So we have to throw these events, not just to bring people into the community, but we also have to raise the funds to operate the organization. So keeping the lights on and paying the staff, that comes from for instance, the beer sales at Barbecue Bash or the vendor fees at the Bel Air Market. That's how we're able to operate.
Jenny, over the years, the Alliance has just continued to grow and grow and grow. You've evolved so much. Now, what are some of the things that we have to look forward to?
It has. We've grown a lot over the last 20 years. We started off really small. I think we just did originally 1 or 2 events, and the programs and the reach that we had was much smaller. So now we're able to operate as an actual business. We have much more streamlined ways of doing things. We're able to get out into the community and meet with the different businesses more often and help them have that more personal relationship. So it's not necessarily anything that the community would see our growth, but it does have very much to do with how we're operating and how smoothly things are going, and then being able to build on the things that we do. For instance, a big focus that we've had has been to reevaluate things that we've been doing. We don't want to keep doing something because we've always done it that way. Right. Is what we're doing beneficial to the community? Is it helping our organization? Is it helping our businesses? So constantly having those program evaluations has been really helpful to just do a better job and not work harder but smarter.
Oh, absolutely. So much going on, Bel Air Downtown Alliance. How do we find out about all the events? And if we want to volunteer, how do we do that?
So all the information that you need is on our website, which is downtownbelair.com. You can find our series of events on there, the full schedule. There's a way to sign up to be a volunteer. If you're interested in giving back to the community by being a member with us, you can sign up there. Literally everything is on our website. And if ever the community has any questions about what we're doing, we're here via email, phone, or they can just stop by in the office and ask us.
Jenny, thanks so much. So much excitement here in Bel Air. You know, this is where I was raised. I absolutely love it. And it just seems like you've got one new event after another.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, it's been great talking with you, and we have so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Coming up next, we're going to speak to one of our community leaders, the vice president of the board, and she's going to tell us why she's so involved and more about everything that downtown Bel Air has to offer. I'm now joined with my good friend, Kathy Schmidt. She is the executive director of Chesapeake Therapeutic Riding. It's been a staple here in Harford County, so giving. So many people have benefited from the services. I am one of them. And she is also the vice president of the board for the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. Kathy, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Christy.
All right, so Kathy, we got to talk about Chesapeake Therapeutic Riding. I'm a big fan. We've been friends for a long time. I've been there. My daughter's ridden with you. You do wonderful things for the community. But for our community members that don't know what CTR is, let's tell them.
Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. So Chesapeake Therapeutic Riding provides adaptive recreation and farm-based education for people using horses, but they're for people that normally wouldn't get to be around horses if we didn't exist. And we are up in the northern part of Harford County, but pretty close to downtown Bel Air.
Kathy, how did you first become involved with the Bel Air Downtown Alliance?
That's a great question, Christy. Bel Air reminds me of my hometown in Western Pennsylvania. And when I moved to Harford County, I absolutely fell in love with downtown Bel Air. And when the Alliance became an entity here, I was friends with the executive director, and she asked me if I would be interested in serving on the board and told me all about the Alliance. And I jumped at the opportunity because we have such a beautiful and vibrant downtown here in Bel Air. And it was my chance to give back to the community that I love so much.
Now tell me about the function of the board of directors. What exactly do you do?
So in addition to the overall governance of the nonprofit organization, we support the goals and initiatives set forth by the Alliance. So we work in conjunction with the staff to make sure that the programs that we have in place and the funding that we receive is appropriately distributed in the community, and also that the programs that are developed by the Alliance come to fruition.
And what would you say are the key goals of the Alliance?
There's 3 top goals, and I'm going to reference my notes because I want to get it right, because it's very important that I think that our viewers understand that the Alliance exists for very specific purposes.
Absolutely.
And so our first key goal is to help create and maintain a downtown where people want to come to work and visit. And I think we can all agree that that's a really good goal.
Oh, absolutely.
Our second goal is to make sure that we have strong connections in the downtown that supports our local business owners. And anybody who has a small business knows how hard it is to run a small business. And that's why we exist, in order to support them with their efforts. And then our third goal is to build partnerships within the town of Bel Air, with the administration, with Harford County, and also the state of Maryland, to make sure that Bel Air is a great place to work and play.
There's so many activities out there. So let's talk about some of the activities that are held and, of course, how they're funded.
That's a great question, because a lot of people think that money just rolls in and rains in. But nearly half of all of the funding that the Alliance receives is from the events that we have and also the people that sponsor those events.
Kathy, how do you think it would affect the business community? Let's say if the Alliance didn't even exist.
Since nearly all of the revenue raised is dispersed in the business community for things like facade improvement, supporting downtown businesses with technical support, and beautifying the streets, if we didn't exist, it wouldn't be as attractive to visitors and the people who actually work here in Bel Air, who, if they work all day, they have something to eat, they may shop after work or on their lunch hour. So by our existence, we are helping to enhance that experience when you come to downtown Bel Air.
Well, we have very good leadership, that's for sure, Kathy. So thanks a lot for being here today. And for anybody that's interested in becoming involved with the Alliance, or anybody that would like to learn more about CTR, can you give us your website?
Yes, Chesapeake Therapeutic Riding's website is www.ctrchanginglives.org.
Kathy, thank you so much. We always have a good time. I always look forward to hanging out with you, and we are very grateful for everything that you do for downtown Bel Air.
Thank you, Christy. It's an honor.
Well, we have so much more to come. Bel Air Downtown Alliance, how are they helping the businesses? How can you get involved? Stay with us. I'm joined with two very special ladies. We have Shelby Tittle here. She's the project coordinator for the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. And we have Emma Knight, who is the marketing and communications director. Ladies, thanks for being with us today, and so excited for all that we have to look forward to in our great town of Bel Air.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
So Emma, tell me about your experience working with the Alliance. What exactly do you do for them?
So I am the marketing and communications associate, which means I handle a lot of the social media, the website, upkeep, sponsorships, things like that focus on promoting the Alliance and kind of letting everyone know what we're doing. So whether that's, keeping up with posting on social media every day about our events and projects, or adding our new events to the website, or keeping in contact with sponsors of our events.
And Shelby, how long have you been with the Alliance, and what does it mean to be a project coordinator?
Yeah, so as the project coordinator, I really just focus on the execution of all the events and including the planning process, which is very extensive. And I know people just kind of see the happy everything in the front of the event, but we do deal with a lot of just things leading up to the event before it actually is presented to the public. So it's in months of planning before it actually is presented to the public.
Well, I'll tell you, so many events held throughout the year. So Shelby, can you elaborate a little bit more about what those events are?
Yeah, so two of our largest events are the Barbecue Bash, which happens in October, and then we also have First Fridays, which is every first Friday of the month from May to October, and that's a huge event. They're kind of like mini barbecue bashes without the barbecue bash theme. So those are like a big block party for Harford County, and they're held in Black Eyed Susie's parking lot, and those are super fun. We have vendors, a beer truck, and lots of live entertainment, band, DJ, and it's just a lot of fun.
Now, Emma, we know a lot that goes into creating one of these events and bringing it to fruition. So let's talk about how these events are held and how do you even get them started?
So it's a lot of planning. We have to decide, okay, well, what sorts of activities or holes are we looking to fill in Bel Air? So for example, one of our new events this year is a community yard sale and flea market that we're holding in Bel Air. And it was you think, oh, flea market yard sale, how hard can that be? But you have to, there's so many hoops, so to say, to jump through. We have to go through the town and the county to get the appropriate permits. We have to get land usage permits. We have to, let the town know that we're holding these events. We have to get different signage permits to, help promote the event. There's so much in coordinating, okay, well, how are we going to have the vendors sign up? How much are they going to pay for the spot? How are people going to get in touch with us? Is there anything else we want to include in the event? So it really is a ton of things to think about, and it really does take a whole team to really make sure you've thought of everything possible to try to, get ahead of any sort of hiccups or mishaps.
Well, also, let me ask you as well, Emma, how do we find out about these various events? Because it seems like they're all the time.
I know our biggest channels and probably the easiest is social media. I mean, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on Facebook, so we definitely try to focus a good deal of our efforts into those different platforms. We do, regular posts on our Facebook and Instagram pages. We also run ads on Facebook and Instagram leading up to the event to really push it out there that, hey, we're having this event and you really should come out to it because it's going to be a lot of fun. We also do other sorts of marketing ventures. For example, this year we started a new campaign with Horizon Cinemas in Fallston. So we have what they're calling this premiere spot where we're the last local ad before the big previews. So we're able to, promote whatever events we want with that. And that's been a really interesting addition to our marketing strategy, I think. We also do some print advertising with Hartford's Heart. And we do radio advertising with WXCY. So it's really just trying to, put our hands in as many fields as possible so we're reaching the largest possible audience so people know about these events.
So, Shelby, as the project coordinator, what type of events are coming up? What do we have to look forward to?
Yeah, so we just had our first Christmas in July bar crawl, and that is an event that I think we're going to continue for the following year. And that was just a lot of fun. It included 8 bars in downtown Bel Air, and then we were able to crawl through Bel Air and get your credentials to carry around with you as you go through all the bars. So you're part of really a big group that's participating in this Christmassy warm weather event. So it was a lot of fun. I think it'll be fun next year too.
Shelby and Emma, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so excited. A lot of new events to look forward to. And again, we want everyone to know these are events for all ages. Right, ladies?
Yes, they're going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, you heard it from both of these wonderful women that are a big part of the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. And if you need to learn more, of course, you can check out all their social media channels. Coming up next, we're going to speak to more local businesses about how the Alliance has helped move them forward. Stay tuned. Shelby Stang is a volunteer for the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. She's also the manager of the Independent Brewing Company. If you say you don't know it, I don't believe you. Everyone in Bel Air does. And she's here to tell us about why you should become involved with the Alliance, because it's just so much fun. We're going to hear all about it. Shelby, thanks so much for being with us.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Now, Shelby, let's talk about how you first partnered with that alliance. How did that come about?
Well, Independent Brewing has been open for just about 7 years now, and the Alliance has obviously been established since prior to that. So part of Independent getting open was a lot of required law and zoning changes. That was all through the town, but what was great was that when Phil and Beth Rudy first got the brewery up and going, the Alliance, really helped them as a partner, just establishing themselves, putting them in networking with other people, other businesses in the community. Bel Air is such a connected community, and everybody is so partnered. And, for us, one thing is obviously production based and making beer and then distributing that out. So the Alliance really played an integral role in connecting us with other businesses in order to create those partnerships, those bonds, which then, for us is sales and, going forward. And then it turned into the roller coaster that has been the last 7 years of events and bar crawls and, whatever else has happened across that time. And we've done so many things in 7 years. And so the Alliance really has played a huge role in just connecting the right people, putting like-minded business owners in contact with one another, and providing space to network, to get to know one another, and really just help others thrive through that. So it's been a really awesome partnership for us.
How have you benefited personally from what the Alliance has done over there at Independent Brewing Company?
So I actually started with the Alliance on a personal membership prior to my employment with Independent. I was previously employed by a couple other different spots, and one of which was an Alliance partner as well. And so I got to know actually Executive Director Jenny Falcone long before she was executive director. And I kind of networked with her, created a friendship there, built my way up personally when I ended up working with Independent. I've been there 4 years now, and I managed there. And now that I am kind of in the position I'm in, it's great because it's really helped me meet a lot of people outside of my industry itself.
Right.
I've been in the restaurant for 12 years, and so to be able to network with others and say, hey, look at all of these people that you have so much in common with that you didn't even realize, not only in business but in personal relation. And the Alliance has really provided a lot of that for me personally, through the Main Street social events, just having the chance to get into a room with other business owners or managing partners and et cetera, and be able to introduce yourself and say, hey, here's what I do, what do you do? And then those bonds, they go forward, and then you're able to utilize them down the road, So you have people like Kelly Mechanical or, Boyle Insurance, and those are now people that I use in my personal life and, for my own ventures as well as business related. And so it's just a really awesome opportunity that the Alliance provides by allowing you to meet these people in a way that you wouldn't have necessarily had available to you before.
Well, not only that, but you've talked about volunteering with them, and so much of the events that you do are so much fun. So let's talk about the fun that we have with them.
There's definitely a lot of fun to be had. The Alliance really puts on a lot of great events. My personal favorite event is Roll Out the Barrel. It's a bourbon and cigar event. I previously worked at a higher end cocktail and elixir bar, and so I kind of had an affinity for that. And we were able to, through my working at Independent, we were able to kind of merge those worlds. And so while Jenny partners with local distributors and stores to put on the Roll Out the Barrel event, Independent is now able to provide beer for the event. For me, I just enjoy the volunteering aspect for all the different reasons. But you have things like the barbecue bash, you have the Bel Air Market, you have just so many opportunities. The new Christmas in July bar crawl should be a great time, just to really get people involved, get people out in the town. This is a town built for walkability and intermingling, and that's kind of what I love about it. I like to give my time to that, aside from, of course, my usual working hours.
Right.
But I enjoy spending the time and assisting with those events as well, because it's just people in their natural state, there to have fun, there to have a good time. Especially through the pandemic years, it was really tough, with the limited events and, limited gatherings and things. So I'm really looking forward going into this year and this event season, as we would call it, starting with the Christmas in July bar crawl and then going into everything else throughout the rest of the year. It should be a really great time. And I always encourage people to volunteer. I mean, you can't beat it. You get to see all of the event for all of its glory. Start to finish. Clean up and all. It's really just a great time with good people who also are enjoying what's going on around you, and of course the people watching.
Oh, of course, of
Excellent.
course. And we do want people to know that the Alliance has events for everyone of all ages.
Oh my gosh, the summer movie nights for kids, that's such an awesome addition to their repertoire of what they've have to offer. I think sometimes people see events maybe as just like a opportunity for adults to gather, and you're exactly right. It's so much more than that. I have a couple of young artist friends that I've met, and they're able to, they're in that in-between age where they're 18-ish and they're not really sure what they're doing, but they're able to put their art out and sell that, and they're able to set up a stand at the barbecue bash, or it's just, there's so much fun. First Fridays, I mean, look at how that's expanded.
Yes, huge.
Cookie cart and face painting and dog treats, and it's so much more than I think what everyone ever thought was capable.
Shelby, thank you so much. Your vantage point just gives us so much excitement for all these events that Bel Air has to offer, and from what you say, we got new ones to look forward to.
And I hope that they continue to expand from there as well.
Well, you heard it from Shelby. It's an amazing opportunity to be involved with the Alliance, and there really is events for people of all ages. So stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to talk to another one of Bel Air's business owners to tell us how the Alliance has helped him move his business forward. Stay tuned. Ben Meyer is the president of the board of the Bel Air Downtown Alliance, and many of you may know him because he also owns Vagabond Sandwich Company. Big fan here, Ben. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No worries.
Now, Ben, you have been involved with the Alliance for a while. How did your interest first get sparked? How did you first become involved with them?
I bought what was called Dillweeds, which is now Vagabond, in 2013. And Angela Rose, who is now with the Chamber of Commerce, was at the time the executive director of the Alliance, and she sashayed into the shop and suggested that I join. So I did, because I didn't know anything about anything, so I did. And that since then I've been a member, and then it sort of evolved into like taking a more active role and becoming on the board and all that kind of stuff.
Well, how does the Alliance actually help the businesses downtown?
Well, I've recently come to sort of have a better understanding of what the Alliance does, and their main purview is to sort of build the footprint that the businesses can succeed on, which the Alliance itself has gone through a lot of incarnations in my time and just sort of grown into a legitimate business. But right now they're sort of hitting on all cylinders as far as they're focused on working with the town government and helping to build a good base, a good draw in the town so that the businesses that are here can flourish and that it's more attractive to businesses to come here. So, I mean, there's a lot of specific things they do, but that's sort of the general, build it and they will come sort of vibe.
What has been the reaction from the rest of the business community, having all these businesses come together and all these people come together to form these amazing events, and the friendships that have evolved as well?
The Alliance in my time here has gone, and it's also just part of my ignorance and then not becoming ignorant, but like it in my time has grown from a much smaller organization to a much larger organization. And I think that what it is now is always what it intended to be, but things have growth spurts and it just kind of went through its adolescence, and now it really seems to be operating like a pretty good business. And I think that because of that, I'm more aware of what their main mission is, and I sort of appreciate the fact that they're not my little promotions committee, but they're here to bring bodies into Bel Air through whether it's festivals like the Barbecue Bash or movies in the park or whatever it is, just make a cooler town, and people will come, and while they're here, maybe they'll shop, maybe they'll eat, but the more people you have is beneficial to everybody.
Why should other businesses get involved? What are the many benefits?
It's a networking community. This is a small town and there's a lot of networking and all of that. For places starting out, it's actually pretty beneficial because looking back, a lot of the things that I had to figure out on my own, I could have gotten from them. They're ultimately a resource for connections and knowledge. So if you want to start throwing an event, they have done events, they have the connections, they know the permits, they know exactly who you need to talk to. So you can just call, say, I want to do this, what do I need to do? And they'll point you in the right direction. It's a whole lot easier than just sort of, cold calling the town of Bel Air. So that's nice. For more established businesses, they're receptive to ideas. If you have something that you want to do, yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were talking to somebody who wants to start doing a, much like a Paint the Town Pink, I think it's Paint the Town Gold, I believe. It was something for pediatric cancer awareness. But again, they come here, they ask what we can do, you partner up and facilitate it. So it's sort of just a hub for communication. And they're also going out and getting grants and doing things and trying to make a cool town. So substantially, they're doing specific things with specific events. But moreover, it's just sort of having an adult in the room that you can call.
Ben, thanks again so much for everything that you do. Very lucky to have people like you in our community.
No worries. Thank you much.
As you have seen today, Bel Air is such a wonderful community to be a part of. If you would like to learn more about them, volunteer, donate, or just attend one of their events, you can visit them at their website, and you can also visit them on any of their social media channels. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford Magazine.